Fight Cancer Global. So before I committed, before I talked to him, I did some research and I was blown away. Here I am, an old coach, an old t-shirt salesman, play a little golf, and I am looking at a program that's live, that's functioning, that has advisors on it. They got more degrees than I've got letters in my last name. But you know what? They don't have the 1 degree I have. At least they don't list it. I've got a BA in history and PE. I wanted to get out of college quick. But my other degree is an LE, and that's for life's experiences.
I wish Fight Cancer Global was already around when I was diagnosed in 2016. A big part of what I feel to be a great solution to this and what I wished I could have built myself, and in a way I kind of did build it, but on a much smaller scale and really specifically around breast cancer, is having that network virtually available at any time, day or night, having that community, finding out, oh, you live near me, let's get together, and actually having someone that really and truly gets it. There's so much issue in the community of trying to just make sure you're heard and make sure that you understand what's going on. And a lot of things that I hear from others who find me is, I couldn't find anyone else. Like, I found you, and through you, I found a voice, but I really didn't know what to do. And there's also the conundrum of staging. You will find on social media a tremendous amount of folks with breast cancer, stage 3 and up, on social media sharing their story. You do not find many that are stage 0, 1, or 2. And it's not like a mathematical thing. It's not like I've researched this extensively, but just in terms of my journey and looking for folks out there, it was hard to find someone sharing unless they were diagnosed at a higher stage. And I really believe that's because there's a huge misconception around cancer. Even like if you don't go to Sloan and you're going to your local hospital and you have stage 1 cancer, they cut it out and they tell you you're cured, go. But what they're not accounting for is the third of people, early stage diagnoses, who wind up metastatic, who wind up with stage 4. So there's a huge mindset of folks that believe, I had cancer, it's over, I don't want to talk about it anymore, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And then they're shocked, the third of them, when they wind up with it coming back. They had no clue that it could come back. So I feel like there's a huge education loss out there for the folks that aren't going to top cancer hospitals, who doctors is telling them, look, I cut it out, you're good, go away, I never want to see you again. And then all of a sudden they're getting pains in their right side, they don't know what it is, or they're breaking a bone and they don't know why. And then it turns out it's because the cancer had metastasized and they are shocked. They had no clue that could happen. So there is this huge amount of information that's not enough out there. And out of all the money that's raised for breast cancer, only 7% goes to research to help those that are metastatic. And the fact is that 33% of everyone who's diagnosed early stage has the potential to turn out metastatic. So we really have huge gaps in the world of breast cancer, and that's just breast cancer, what I happen to know best. I am sure this is common everywhere. One of my friends was just diagnosed with rectal cancer, and she's like, I got the shitty cancer. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And she's like, no, there's no ribbon, there's no research. I'm like, well, there's a ribbon, it's just brown. And she's like, is it really? I'm like, no, I'm just messing with you.
Too, I believe that we're entering an era where learning how to work with internal, let's call it consciousness or awareness of how you listen to yourself and your own needs, how you listen to another person, how you listen in a group, how you communicate. I believe that that can be taught, and I call it energy, but it's a way of noticing what's arising in your own body. So if you're a loved one, let's say you're a husband of a woman who's very sick, right? And I want to come back and talk about the studies about consciousness as well, so please remind me if I forget. But let's say you're that man, right? You love your wife, you love your woman, you love your partner, and she's dying, and you know that. So you can learn how to listen to yourself Listen to your own needs, your own longing that she would live, your own fear about taking care of her child, your child together, or her child on her own before you met. You can learn how to notice that in yourself, your own needs, and then how to give her the space that she needs to feel everything she feels, be there for her, not deny your own needs, not deny your own sadness and your own disappointment and anger. Feel what you really feel and be able to be fully present with her. I think patience, everybody really, we know the difference when someone's present and when they're not. We can feel the difference of that presence. So I believe that it's time to learn how to be present in every situation, but especially around cancer. And I believe a site like Fight Cancer Global can teach it. In my case, I've developed 22 specific skills, and they progress from listening to yourself to listening to another person, to listening to a small group of people you know well, like your nuclear family, to a larger group of a support group, to working with your energy to affect the whole world. They're very specific, easy to learn, quick to implement. You can do it on your feet in the middle of your busy day. Nurses can learn how to be present with themselves, not have burnout. Doctors can learn how to be present with themselves, present with their patients, so that even though they've got 12 minutes to see a patient, they can reconnect to themselves and their patient. And that cuts through burnout. It cuts through a sense of overwhelm and connects human to human again. So there's this really beautiful connection, which I think is why doctors chose the profession of medicine in the first place.
And one of the things that really caught my attention with Global is their pillars. Anyone watching this or listening to this, if you were going to build a house, say you got 10 acres down on the shore. You got 10 acres. It runs from the high water line, 10 acres, 5 acres wide in length and 2 acres wide. So you're going to build a house with a water view. Everybody likes to live on the shore. So they build it on the shore, on the sand. Not me. I'm going to back up about 300 yards and I'm going to build it on the rocks or the ground or anything like that. And I'm going to build a fence of concrete, and then I'm going to put my wood on it. And if I want to see the water, I don't build it flat. I build it up so I can see the water. And if I can see the water, that's what I've accomplished to do. So when you're doing research on a system like Kansas, where'd that come from? Oh, the Jayhawks, okay. He's on the other wall here. You build it on firm basis. Firm basis. Let me say this, firm basis, pillars. When people go to Rome, where's the first place they go? They go to the Colosseum. What architectural design does the Colosseum possess? Pillars. And it's still here, Now think about if they'd want to build a Colosseum on the beach. We wouldn't have anything to see in Rome. Not one bloody thing except divots, which I can provide, on the beach. So when I take a look at Global and the work they're doing, it's phenomenal because they've got the beachfront property because they're going to be able to see happy, successful situations occur worldwide. They've got the staff, but the best thing they've got are their pillars. And in our conversations earlier, and this, I'm not being coached to say this, okay? I'm not, that there isn't going to be a check, is there, David? No, I didn't think so. Anyway, it was a good thought. But whenever you build anything, the structure you build is only as good as your foundation.